What's up, gamers? I tried out Diablo 4 during the open beta weekend, this past weekend. Not as much as I would have liked, since I work on the weekends, and I also ended up sleeping a lot by accident, but that is neither here nor there. I want to go over a couple things that I feel need to change about Diablo 4. You would not be wrong to think Druid is one of those things. But I also think Necromancer needs some changes, specifically with the feel of their spells. Necromancer is strong, but for me, it wasn't that fun. I did make a new build just before writing this part of the script that is focused on corpse generation and corpse spending, which did feel nice, but it still felt a bit clunky. More on that later. I'm pretty sure I know why I feel this way, and it's because Necromancer is not Demon Hunter. That's what I've played in Diablo 3 as well as Witch Doctor, so like, Diablo 4 has really punched me in the nuts, but I digress. The hypermobility from Demon Hunter that I'm used to isn't there, and how I played my Witch Doctor was a summoner, but the spells on Witch Doctor facilitated that playstyle better than Necromancer, I feel. Now, should I be writing this without having gotten Necromancer to level 25, which is the cap on the beta? No. Am I anyway? Yes. Of course, it's the beta, so we don't have access to everything the classes have to offer. I mean, look at druids. They can't even align with their spirit animals. But if the base of the class doesn't feel good, then what's the point in trying to continue? Which is what I've also seen said about Druid, but we can get into that later. What's the definition of insanity again? Just wondering. I just hope that I enjoy Necromancer later on with more gear, because at the moment, I do just feel like I'm playing Necromancer for the sake of being strong, rather than because I like it. If you want specific complaints rather than general, Bone Splinters is too strong, making it almost the only viable option, and casting it has this clunky feeling that made me feel slow. Bone Spear has the same problem as Splinters in that it feels so fucking slow. Bone Prison, while I do like using it, has the issue of blocking the caster as well, but I think you can take it down by pressing the button again. But at the same time, whenever I tried that, the prison was up for a bit already, so it totally could have been a coincidence when I pressed the button and the bone prison went down. The open beta has since ended, and I played a bit more after writing that first part. The corpse generating build I made was a lot of fun, and felt a lot better than the bone build that I've seen everybody and their mother running. I had Decompose, Bone Lance, I think it was called. The raised skeleton, of course. I mean, that's always on the bar. I had Corpse Explosion and Corpse Tendrils, and then the last one was Bone Prison, which I still cannot confirm or deny that pressing Bone Prison again does get rid of it. I still could not tell. But in terms of strength, this build I made, I think, is about equal. More importantly, however, in terms of smoothness of gameplay and fun, I'd say it's leagues above. For me, at least. That's all I got for Necromancer. I'm excited to play it when the game comes out with a build I find fun, and with more skill points, because more skill points will definitely be nice. But let's talk about the elephant in the room now. Druid. Druid, initially, I thought felt nice. I used the bear basic attack, which, admittedly, was a bad idea. But then I swapped to the Electro Slappy, which was functionally better, but wasn't what I had in mind for a druid. I was trying to make a build that would shapeshift between wolf, bear, and then back to human, or wolf, human, bear, wolf, I hope you get what I mean. But there just wasn't enough abilities to use. Had I more time, I might have been able to level up more and actually get more skills, but, you know, I had work and I slept a lot. The biggest issue with Druid, however, other than the damage numbers being astronomically low, is all the abilities feel like they don't synergize. I can't speak for the storm spells since I was focusing on trying to make shapeshifting good, even though that was a futile effort. The synergy between the druid skills are generate spirit with your basic attacks and spend spirit with your other abilities. And that's where the synergy ends. Even this, however, feels bad. If you opt for any of the melee basic attacks, you have to get into melee range to generate spirit, which is already dangerous to do, but if you have no spirit, it's doubly so. The defensive skills that Druid has are also lackluster, except for Earth and Bulwark. I like that one. But the shouts that the animal forms have? Like, what the fuck are those? Garbage! But let's talk about Earth and Bulwark before I move on to the next part. It is a skill that gives you a shield. It's good for tankiness, as you might expect. But that's not the important part. It has an augment that gives you fortify. Yeah, whatever, that's useful, but who cares? More importantly, it has an augment that causes it to explode when it's destroyed or when it expires. The explosion does damage, and that damage scales off of barrier bonuses. What the fuck are barrier bonuses? Excellent question, because I know fuck all about them. But it sounds like a funny idea. I'll probably try to make a Thorns build with Druid, but I do still want to make shapeshifting work. The other big issue I have with Druid is its companions. It has 3 companions. You got some wolf boys, a raven, sometimes 3, depending on if you want to invest skill points, and a tentacle creeper. I don't actually remember what it's called, but tentacle creeper is what I'm going to call it. And I tried all 3. The best one was probably the raven, followed by the wolves, and the creeper is somehow lower than number 3. I'd probably put it somewhere around number 5 or 6 on the usefulness scale. If they ever add more companions to Druid, those companions automatically better than the tentacle creeper. No doubt in my mind. There's no way they could make something worse than the creeper. It's impossible. The active on it is alright, but the passive attacks it does is non-existent? I stood around for a bit waiting for it to attack, but there was just nothing. No damage. I think it poisons as its passive attack. That's like every 8 or so seconds. It's really bad. But I just stood around. It did nothing. I'm thinking it might be bugged, but I have no idea. Also, I don't know if this would be broken or not, but I feel like it should work the way I think it does. The companion abilities that the druid has have a passive and active part. The passive is simply that the companions are there doing their thing, and the active is an ability you can use to have your companions do a special attack. For wolves, they pounce on the target you select. Ravens form a Ravennado on the targeted area. I wish it was a Sharknado though. And the creeper has an AoE immobilize that poisons. The actives don't particularly matter. but you need the companion abilities on your hotbar for them to be active passively. I hope that makes sense, but I'll simplify it more just in case. If your companion ability is on your hotbar, then they fight for you, they're out and about, all good. If a companion ability is not on your hotbar, then they say, fuck off, what's a passive ability? They're not there, they don't exist, who cares? I just wish I could put points into the summons and not have to put them on my bar so I could use other abilities. I don't know if that'd be broken, but the companions don't do that much damage anyway, so I mean, but nothing with Druid does that much damage. I mean, hell, even if they were just there cosmetically, I'd still put points into it. I want my Druid fantasy of having animal companions. Is that so much to ask? Anyway, that's it. I didn't play any of the other classes since, you know, time. If I had, I probably wouldn't have touched Sorcerer or Barbarian, since those two classes don't particularly interest me. Rogue has me curious, because I want to see if it's similar to Demon Hunter at all, but it's too late to find that out now. If you have anything you disagree with, or feel that needs to be brought up, go ahead and comment down below. I'll be responding to things I can respond to, things about Necromancer and Druid to be specific, but if you want to tell me how Rogue feels, I'll also respond to that. I'll see you later, gamers.